Hi everyone, today our Chelsea Foundation coaches are going to focus on my favourite part of the game, which is passing. They will deliver a range of skills and drills focusing on passing for you to try. Please listen to the key coaching points and they will help you improve your technique whilst training at home.
Hi all, and welcome to Hyundai FC Home Advantage coaching session. My name's Nathan, and today I'm going to be taking you through a few passing practices that hopefully you can recreate at home using a wall, a few household items, and obviously your football. Please remember, when trying to practice these things, to get permission from your parents, and remember to keep safe. I hope you enjoy the drills. The first drill we're going to be looking at is drill number 1, a very basic passing drill. You're just going to need a square, 2 steps by 2 steps, using any household items you have or any cones. We're going to start off with some basic passing against the wall. First thing we're looking at, and there's going to be 4 key points, is making sure our foot is planted beside the ball. So if you're right-footed, making sure your left foot's planted beside the ball. If you're left-footed, making sure your right foot's planted beside the ball. The second thing we're going to be looking at is making sure our chest and our standing foot are facing the direction we want to pass in. And the last 2 things is making sure we're passing through the middle of the ball, it's not underneath it or high up on it, and making sure we're on our toes. We're going to start off with some basic passing now. Pass and control the ball just to get nice and comfortable. So we're going to start with 5 passes, playing 2 touch, and making sure we're using both feet. So passing through the middle of the ball, making sure I'm on my toes. Once you've got comfortable, you can now start to try and do it first time. We'll see if you can now do 5 passes first time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you try both feet to try and make sure you're improving both on each side. Variation 2, we're now going to be using the outside of our foot. Now, instead of actually being right behind the ball, we're now going to be a little bit more at an angle to the same side we're kicking the ball with. We're now going to also make sure we're using the outside of our foot to make contact with the ball. The more to the side you're hitting the ball, the more curl you can actually get, but you might also lose some power. So we're going to start off once again with some 2-touch passing. So outside the foot and control. Outside the foot and control. Outside the foot, control. And remember to use both feet as well. Once you get more comfortable and you can do 10 passes while it being under control, you can now try and do it with first time passing. So outside, on my toes. So that's your 5 passes with the outside of your foot. I hope you've enjoyed drill 1. Now here's Billy Gilmore, one of Chelsea's rising stars, practicing his passing drills at home. Welcome to drill number 2. Here we're now going to be using 2 2x2 boxes beside each other. And we're going to be using the same passing techniques from drill number 1. With this first part of the drill, we're going to start off by playing a pass in one channel with our right foot and then a pass in the other channel with our left foot. We start with inside pass, we're going to create a little gap to control the ball with our foot, and we play another pass now with the left foot. Create a little gap with the inside, play another pass. A little gap in front, cushion it, and another little pass. When you feel comfortable, you can start to increase the speed. See how many you can do in 1 minute, remember, if you want to make it a little bit harder, you can actually try and make the square a little bit longer or a little bit more narrow. In this next passing variation, we're now going to be playing 6 passes, but 3 passes at each different level, and all going to be first time. Now we're going to be using our same boxes, but now we're going to be going lengthwise. We start with the inside of the foot, first time pass to the wall, to the second level. Another pass, one more, and now we come backwards. We get all the way, and we've done our first set of passing. We can now obviously use the other foot. Challenge yourself to go as quickly as possible here. So once again, pass, 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 get back, pass, get back. You can now time yourself to see how many times we can go up and down the channel within the next minute. The next passing variation, we're now looking at straight line passes and diagonal passes. Once again, with our 2 channels, we're looking to make a straight line pass before a diagonal pass into the new channel. We're going to start off with 2 touches. Touch, pass, line up the pass, and we stop it. Touch, stop, touch, and we stop. Start doing it with 2 touches until you feel comfortable. I'm now going to challenge myself to try and do it solely with my right foot. Touch, stop, touch, stop, touch, stop, touch, stop. You can use a combination of both feet, and to make it even harder, you can go into 1 touch. So we're now going to try and do it with 1 touch. One more time. Remember, you can either isolate 1 foot, so just using 1 stronger foot, or using your other foot, or use a combination. You can also use a combination of various passes, so utilizing your inside, your outside, or your laces. Try and see how many times you can get from one side to the other and back again in the next minute. Drill number 3. We're now going to be looking at little passing combinations to try and play around an opponent. For this drill, we're mostly going to be using the inside of our foot to start off with, and then we'll expand after that. What we're going to need now is 2 walls, 2 objects. The objects are going to be 2 steps away from one wall and 2 steps away from the other wall. If you haven't got 2 walls, you can use 1 wall, and you can have a teammate that could be your feeder. We're going to start off with a little bit of basic passing and changing the angle of the pass. It's all going to be 2 touches to start off with. We're going to start off with passing the ball with the foot closest to the object. We pass and we control it with the same foot. Pass, control it with the same foot. Pass, control it with the same foot. Pass, control it with the same foot. Always making sure your chest and your feet are facing where you want to pass the ball. We'll start to do a little bit quicker now. Pass, touch. Always at your toes. Try to make sure you're comfortable with both feet. Try and put the same amount of power as well with both passes. Now we're going to try and play little passing combinations around the defender. So things that will help us in a game, like 1-2s. For the first part, we're only going to be using the inside of our foot, and we're going to be taking 2 touches with each pass. The distances will still be the same. Now we're going to pass the ball, let it come past the defender, and now we're going to be facing where our teammate would be. We're playing 1-2, collect it on the other side. Pass, drop back, control, 1-2, control on the other side. As we start to find a little bit easier, so we start to get a little bit more familiar, can do quite a few in a minute without breaking down, we'll try and go more into 1 touch. So at least one of the passes will be that. So we'll pass the ball as it comes across. Now pass, get around with our first time. Set, drop back, have a look, pass, get around. Now we'll see if we can do it a little bit smoother now. with our one-touch passing. As it comes back, and we just let it come all the way back. Pass, get in front, pass, we drop back, let it come back. Pass, get in front, drop, and let it come back. So once again, just change the direction of where your actual objects are. So using your left foot as well. For this next variation, now we're going to be using the outside of the foot to play around the defender. So now instead of dropping off, we're now going to be stepping in front of the defender and having a little disguise pass around the corner. Once again, we'll play the ball against the wall. Now we'll step in front, we take a touch, have a look now to check and see the angle. We pass to the defender, we collect it the other side. Once again, pass, get in front, have a little check, pass around the defender, get to the other side. We'll do it one more time, a little bit quicker now. Touch, have a look, pass, we quickly drop back quickly. So we have to be on our toes. Pass, stop, have a look, get around, and we go again. We'll now see if we can try and do this with a one-touch pass around the corner. So we pass, get in front, have a look, pass, get around. Pass, have a look, and we get around. One more time, pass, have a little look, and we get around. Just like the last variation, we can now try and see if we can do all of it with a one-touch pass. Pass, get around, have a look, get in line with it, have another look, and we can get around. Let the ball come across, and we play again. With this variation now, we're going to be playing both passes we've used to play around the defender in one type of combination. So, we're going to start off with a pass going forward as it comes back, inside foot, control, as it comes back, outside. Again, pass, let it come back, open up, pass around, outside. We'll try and do a little bit quicker now, making sure once again we're on our toes. Pass, comes back, pass, control as it comes back around that corner. We'll try and do it now, first time. We'll try and do it one more time. Remember to try and do it off both feet, so making sure you're using your left foot as well as your right foot. So we just have to rotate, once again, the objects. And remember, if at any point you need to take a touch, take a touch. As it's better to make sure we play with quality instead of rushing. We're now on our passing circuit. We're going to use all the passes we've used in the last few drills, including using all the passes with both feet. The key thing with this now, we have to make sure we time ourselves to make sure we can improve our time each time we go. The area is going to be one box 2x2, another box 2x2, with the last box once again 2x2 in terms of steps. And we're going to have to use our target that's going to be a little bit further away. We need 2 footballs, as we're going to have to try and use one football to score and another football to score afterwards. We'll start by playing a pass at each level with our left foot, before playing another pass each level with our right foot before scoring. We'll then move on and play a straight line pass with a diagonal one, straight line pass, diagonal, before taking a touch through and scoring. We'll have a little walk through so we can see how it looks. A different pass at each one, so we'll start off with an outside foot. We stop at the next line. Left foot, we drop back, and now we're using the laces for the longer one. As soon as we've done that, we now go with our right foot a little bit closer. The laces, as it comes back, inside, comes back, outside, before outside around the corner. We then move around, straight line, diagonal, straight, diagonal, take a touch through, and then we finish at the goal. We try and do it as quickly as possible and make sure to record your time. We'll now try and do it a little bit quicker and see what we can do here. Remember to time yourself, see how quickly you can go. Also post your quickest videos to our actual social media. Enjoy. Thank you for watching today's drills. Next week's drills are going to be all on turning. Now remember, when practicing these drills, adapt them to your environment so to make sure that you can keep safe and you can get the best out of them. Thank you for watching and keep safe.